And what is up, everyone? Melski Sharks here on YouTube, just giving you guys a quick weather update on Hurricane Dorian. Usually don't do a lot of weather streams, but in this case I felt like it was appropriate because of the threats that it may pose to the United States, especially what looks like possibly Florida could get impacted in a big way on this. And if you guys are wondering what you're seeing, I'm trying to get my stream trying to get my stream so I can share it. So give me just 1 second while I do that, and then we'll get down to it. Make sure I get all this shared. Okay, alright, got that done. So hope you guys are having a good day. The day's been going good for me so far. Like I said, we're just gonna kind of make this, I don't know if I'm gonna say brief, but just kind of give you guys a synopsis on where we're at, where we stand, and what we can expect. So here's a satellite of Hurricane Dorian. As you can see, there is an eye trying to form right about there, but it keeps getting closed off. But the fact that all these cold cloud tops are firing off to the north of the eye potentially means that it's intensifying, and as you can see here, banding features are starting to really come together, and the storm looks like it might be trying to expand and also wrap around on the west side and the east side. If this storm is able to wrap around and intensify like it's doing, we could be potentially looking at a pretty strong hurricane as it heads towards the Bahamas and Florida. Now, the National Hurricane Center cone currently has the storm going east of the Bahamas, then turning left towards the Bahamas, going just slightly north of the Bahamas as a major hurricane, and making landfall in Florida, Central Florida to be exact, as a major hurricane, and then weakening. Of course, it doesn't go past 5 days, so that's kind of what we're looking at in regards to that. Alright, so the aircraft reconnaissance mission, they've got 2 airplanes out right now. As a matter of fact, I'm about to update one of them because I can get like a 10-minute update every 10 minutes. I can get an update every 10 minutes on the reconnaissance mission. And it looks like recon is fixing to fly back into the storm and get another sample of the storm. And then the other recon that I was telling you about, they are closing in on the storm. They still have about they'll probably be there within about 15 to 30 minutes or so. So in about 15-30 minutes we should have the results from the other recon as to how strong it is with that. ADT, this is just kind of a measure of the storm right now. It's got a 72.2 knots, which equates to about 80 to 85 miles an hour. So far the storm is pretty much on par with what ADT is saying. Last reconnaissance mission that flew out to the storm got about 75 to 80 miles an hour. It was about 72 knots, so about 80 to 85 miles an hour maybe. Pressures did fall a little bit from the last run. Pressures are about 993, 994, so that does indicate that the storm is starting to intensify. Now, that being said, I'm going to take you guys through some models and let you guys know as to where we stand on that. And also I'm gonna open up a few different tabs which has a few different models, just a few different ways that they're looking at it, if it'll ever load up. Okay, forecast. Alright, we're going to look at the GFS model first. This is the GFS model that they use. I'm going to see if they have it out, and as soon as it loads. No, they do not have it out. Okay. I was afraid of that. Alright, let's back up. Alright, so I can only get the United States view on this. Well, actually, no. I should be able to get a better view. Hold on. If I remember correctly, I should be able to get the southeast view. So we should be able to see the storm as it comes in a little bit clearer. GFS, the hurricane model, would have zoomed all the way in, but they don't have the latest models out for that, so we can't go into that currently, which sucks, but it is what it is. Alright, let's go ahead and fast forward to about 84 hours, which is about 3.5 days from now. So I will place it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It'll place it about Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. And as you can see there, the GFS has it coming in 977 over the Bahamas. 977 meaning 977 millibars, which is about a Category 2, Category 3 storm. 96 hours later, still moving northwest. And the GFS has this making landfall between Jacksonville and Daytona, I do believe. Let me double check that. Yes. 968 looks like right around Daytona. And then moving northwest and then kind of going up into southern Georgia and then dissipating from there. Well, slowly dissipating from there. But still producing a lot of rain as it heads into southern Georgia and northern Florida. So just because it moves in doesn't mean it's going to dissipate immediately. It takes time for it to dissipate. But as you can see, they're producing a lot of rain, a lot of wind, certainly around the Jacksonville, Daytona area if this model pans out. Notice I said this model because there's more. Let's see here. Let's look at the NAVGEM model. And I'll show you guys what I mean when I say that. Actually, they are just now coming out with the latest model, so we're actually going to backpedal a little bit. We're going to go back to the last model run because they're still coming out with the latest model. So we're going to backpedal for a minute, and we're going to look at about 120, which is about when it's supposed to come on shore, if it does go that route. But the NAVGEM model currently has a storm making landfall over southern Florida, southeast Florida, and then it looks like possibly emerging over into the Gulf. Now, if this storm does take that path, and a lot of models, especially the European models, have hinted that this storm may take a southern Florida path and emerge into the Gulf. If it does just that, and the NAVGEM model hints that too. If it does that, it could get into the Gulf of Mexico, re-intensify, and then come on shore under the panhandle of Florida. So, in theory, Florida would be getting 2 landfalls from one storm if you really stop and think about it. But anyway, this model has it making landfall in the panhandle of Florida, looking like a Category 2, maybe? Category 2 storm? I mean, either way, you got a Cat 2 storm maybe over southern Florida and then coming over here into the Gulf. And it's going to have some time to re-intensify. So I think this model maybe undercuts it just a little bit. So, like I said, either way, it's bad news for Florida because the heavy rain and wind is going to come over Florida and then come all the way around where the heavy rain and wind is going to stay right on the coastline right up until landfall. So either way, you're talking southern Florida and then the west coast of Florida all the way up into landfall going up into Georgia with this model. Like I said, there's a bunch of models that have it going different directions with this storm. Reconnaissance missions, still waiting a couple minutes for that to come out. And let me get my charger so my laptop doesn't die on me. Okay, guys. And like I said, if you got, also, by the way, if you guys want to chat in the chat, feel free to do so. So I know that you're in the chat, you're watching. If you got any questions, let me know. So if you guys got any questions, just let me know, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Like I said, there's still a lot of unknowns about this storm that we're still trying to dissect. So this is the GFS Ensembles model. And this model is way undercutting. Okay, actually, this model is not out, or the new one's not out yet, so we're not even going to pay attention to that because obviously that one's not going to be correct. But something I am finding interesting, this intensity model just came out, and obviously it's a Cat 1. But look at this, the COT1. Let me get off this. Okay, the COTI has this storm potentially hitting Cat 5, but it's the only model that does that, thankfully. But you see, most of the models have this at least getting into a Cat 2 or a Cat 3. And 2 of the models do have it going to a Cat 4, actually 3 of them, including the one I mentioned that has it going to a Cat 5. That being said, most of the models do not have this weakening until it hits land. So most of the models are going Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3. Like I said, you got a couple there, Cat 4, Cat 5. So this storm, you can see, it is intensifying. So that's bad news for everyone involved. This model actually just came out, the track guidance, and it has it making landfall somewhere in between Jacksonville, for the most part, and just north of Miami. And some of the models do unfortunately have this going on to the Gulf. Like I said, if it goes out into the Gulf, we could be looking at a further intensifying storm trying to come in for a second time. So, like I said, that's what we're looking at right now. And, alright, and 5 minutes ago, the Florida governor has declared an emergency ahead of Hurricane Dorian's expected arrival. And like I said, some of these models have this possibly making 2 landfalls. The worst case scenario for Florida would be that it does make landfall over southern Florida, come out into the Gulf, and then comes up like that. Like I said, if it comes up like that, you're going to have all the wind, the heavy rain, the wind, the worst part of the storm on the east side, and you got all these areas around here, Tampa, Naples, those kind of cities on the west side of Florida, but they would be on the east side of the storm. And apparently my thing is having an error. I don't understand why, but it is what it is. Give me a sec, make sure this thing is still playing. Okay, it is. Good. Alright, so let's go and look at the discussion that the Hurricane Center issued back in this 4 o'clock advisory. The cloud pattern has become better organized with a hint of an eye of high-resolution satellite imagery, which I just showed you that, putting connected bands. Now that the hurricane has developed an inner core with a 15-20 mile eye, strengthening is more likely, and unfortunately that is the case. The National Hurricane Center discussion has us about a Category 3 115 mile an hour storm upon making landfall in Florida. But like I said, a lot of the models have it going into the Gulf and maybe making a second landfall. If this occurs, that would not be good news for sure for the area. ADT, they have gone ahead. Alright, so they do have a new update. The knots have gone up to 74.6 knots, which would equate to about 85, close to 90 miles an hour. So we may have a 90 mile an hour storm at the 7 o'clock advisory. It's all going to also depend on what the reconnaissance planes find. The first one that's already out gotten a pass, and they're about to go in for a second pass. The second plane is about to make another make their first pass of the storm and see what we got. Let's see. Actually, I should be able to update it now. There we go. And there, unfortunately, this plane is still en route to the storm. I don't know what is taking them so long to get there. I wish they'd hurry up and get in, because we kind of want some information, obviously. Alright, and this storm, this plane is about to come in and make its second pass. I'd say give it another 10 to 20 minutes, we'll probably have the second pass. And I'll be real curious to see what this plane finds when it makes that second pass. Because you guys can clearly see it is intensifying on satellite. And let me see if I can get, or that's the infrared satellite imagery, my bad. Let me see if I can get, what am I trying to say? Yeah. Let's see if I can get a visible satellite imagery on this. Oh, darn it, I clicked on the wrong one. Whoops. Mark, it's Hurricane Dorian. That's the one you need. Come on. Alright. Let me see if I can get this thing to pull up. If I can get this thing to pull up, maybe I can show you the banding features and the eye on the visible satellite, and we'll get that a couple minutes to come up, because sometimes it'll take it a couple minutes. Let's go and look at some other models on here. Let's look at the icon model and see what it says, because like I said, a bunch of these models I really don't look at. I only really look at the GFS, and then when it gets close to the NAM model, that's pretty much about it. Alright, so 120, this thing still has it in the Bahamas as a Category 3 storm. It looks like a 963. That's pretty much Cat 3. So if that's the case, that could be interesting. So the icon basically saying it's going to take a little bit longer for it to come on shore. Alright, the JMA model. Let's see. Alright, so that's not really a great model. Let's look at this is the ECMWF model, the European model. I'm getting Facebook notifications, etc. Alright, let's see here. Alright, the European model has this southern Florida, it looks like. And then, alright, that was at 120. Let's see. Oh my god. Hold on, guys. This is going to take a second. No, I'm doing a live stream. You're in here. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway. Okay, guys. Again, sorry about all that. Anyway. Back to what I was saying on the European model. This is about 144, 6 days in. Predicting a 971 millibar storm. Let's look at the 7-day. That's a 964 in the central Gulf of Mexico. And this one has it pulling away from the southern part of Florida, which would be good for them. Problem is, not good for the panhandle of Florida, as it's going to make landfall as a Category 3 at 960, maybe even a Cat 4. And looking further, and there's 994. 994 as it goes into Alabama, and then it's going to curve to the right and will pull back to the right. So either way, like I said, the European model is projecting that it will come out to the Gulf of Mexico for more time. More time would mean more ample opportunity to strengthen into a more powerful storm. Anyway. Give me just 1 sec. No, I don't know if I can do this from here. But, alright. So that's basically what we're looking at as of right now. We're looking at an intensifying storm. Intensifying by the minute. By the hour, by the minute, whatever you want to say. Probably a Category 2, Category 3 storm when it gets to Bahamas. Maybe even some models are saying Category 4 as it gets to Florida. Like I said, there's still a lot about the storm that we don't know. Like, where is it going to go? Like, is it going to stay north and go up towards Florida, Georgia, or is it going to stay south Florida and then go out into the Gulf? I said, if it goes out into the Gulf, then I'm going to be concerned about that because that's going to impact more towards the panhandle of Florida. Like I said, second landfall possibly for Florida. And, alright, let me see if they're finally in the storm. Okay, they're still heading that way. So that being said, does anyone really have any questions for me in regards to the storm, etc.? Like, does anyone have any questions in regards to the storm and what you can expect from the storm, or what your area can expect from the storm if you're watching from that area? Because if you do, now would be a good time to ask. I'll try to answer any questions that I can. Like I said, right now I'm just mainly looking at this and just seeing what we got, and still waiting for that recon to make that second pass and the second plane to make its first pass. So I'm gonna keep this live stream going for a little bit. I may not talk for certain amounts of time. Mainly, that's gonna be mainly because I'm, watching the storm, waiting for updates to come in. Because there's not much to talk about now. Like I said, we're just kind of waiting for recon missions and stuff like that for them to send data back. Once the data comes back, then I can share the data with you guys. Alright, 5:58, so we should be seeing another update within the next couple of minutes. Alright, the visible satellite finally did come up. The eye is going to be right about there. That's the eye right there, and it's starting to come into focus a little bit. So, we'll have to see what the recons say and see what their data says from the recon missions. Because that's really about the only way we're going to be able to tell how strong is this hurricane now. Alright, and they are flying into the storm, and they're getting some tropical storm force winds as they're flying in this thing. Oh yeah, pressures are dropping as they head in. 105, 1005, 1001, 997, and they're still not at the center yet. So like I said, this is gonna be very interesting to see what they find in this storm. So we're gonna have to wait one more update and then we'll have it. So about 6:05 or so, I should have the latest update, or well, about 6:08 more or less actually. Okay, I got a Twitch or Twitter message. I'll have to check that out in a sec. Okay, I'm gonna get off the Facebook page. I didn't mean to have that tab up. My bad, guys. Alright, so, like I said, we're just kind of in a holding pattern, just waiting for the recons to get the info back. So, once the recon comes in with its latest update, I'll share that data with y'all, and then I'll probably call it for the evening base live stream, and maybe do another one later on tonight to get the 10 o'clock update and more recons flying in, etc. So right now I'm thinking it's going to be about 85 to 90 mile an hour storm when they do the 7 o'clock update. Still going to be a Cat 1 obviously. Millibar is probably going to be about 990 to 993. It could be stronger than that. I don't know. When they did that first pass and they found that 993, it was about an hour ago. And they found surface winds of about 74, 73 miles and 73 knots, I should say. which equates to about 80 to 85 miles an hour. So, like I said, just a wait and see game. But based on the fact that the pressures are already dropping as they head into the storm, it's already down to 997, and I don't. So, we'll just have to see what it says in the next pass, which should be coming up any second, or well, in about 5 to 10 minutes, more or less. So. Alright, let's see here. By the way, guys, also, if you guys do catch this live stream or watch this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel. I don't do weather videos that often on the channel, but this was kind of warranted. But I don't do weather videos that often, but this is mainly a gaming channel. So if you're interested in gaming and you came by, check out the weather for Florida, whatever, you can subscribe to my channel and find more gaming live streams and whatnot. So just don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and that'll be much appreciated. So, like I said, we're waiting for the next pass. Should be in about 5 minutes or so, because it's 6:02 now, so should be in about 5 minutes. Hey, P9UH, what's up? Thank you for stopping by. Let me reply to that real quick. So, yeah, like I said, we're just kind of in a holding pattern, just waiting for the recon to make sure get a new update on the storm. They should be passing through the center within the next 10. Well, actually, they're probably already about to pass through the storm. We should be getting that update in less than 5 minutes. Once I get that in, I'll pass on the information to you guys, let y'all know what we see or what I see, and I'll call it a live stream after that. But like I said, I'll probably do another update later on this evening and give you guys another update on the storm. So if you guys want to, just tune into it and just check it out. Oh, damn. Oh, well, shit. Well, shit. Alright, guys, give me 1 second. I gotta do something really quick. I thought I'd taken care of this already, but thank you, Lauren, for letting me know about that. Oh, shoot, I don't think that was supposed to go to that. Well, no, I think that's it. Alright, Lauren, just give me a sec. I think I got the problem. Yep, got it. There we go. Alright, you should. Alright, Lauren, you should be able to comment now. Give me a sec. Ba 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 ba. Alright, yeah, Lauren, if you're still watching this, you should be able to comment now. Alright, so like I said, still waiting on the recon mission to come through. This one should be. This one's got to be in the. Okay, yeah, I was just fixing to say it should be in the storm by now. It just entered the storm. So we'll be getting an update on that one within a few minutes, and I'll be curious to see that one too, as well as this one. All right, so I'd say within 2 to 4 minutes we should have the. I'd say actually 2 to 3 minutes we should have the next. Maybe even 1 to 2 minutes. So we'll have to see how quickly they can get the data to us. So like I said, my prediction though is gonna be when I do get the data, it's gonna be at about a 90-mile-an-hour storm. Millibars probably around 990. That's gonna be my prediction. But like I said, I'm not an official meteorologist. I don't try to be an official meteorologist. People have said that I should. Oh. So as I was saying, if that other model you showed her is correct, and that storm does go through state Florida, goes back up to what it makes right up going to Mississippi. Lauren, like I said, either way, it's going to be a bad situation for the whole Gulf Coast, from I'd say New Orleans all the way over to Florida. Anyone basically on the Gulf Coast, even Texas included, I'm not even going to discount them. Anyone on the Gulf Coast and anyone on the East Coast right now needs to be on their guard because we're still unclear as to what this storm is going to do right now. So, in all fairness, we don't know. So, anywhere on the southeast coast and the main East Coast needs to be on their guard right now. Alright, so we do have it in, and it looks like. Or, well. Well, we don't have that map in yet, which that's the one I was curious to see. But we do have this one, and it looks like the pressures are not as high. 995 still. They didn't find as big. I mean, it's still hurricane winds, but it's still about 75 to 80. It's not as high as I thought that they would have found. So, that actually shocked me a little bit. So, it's not as high as maybe I thought it would be. Like I said, we're still waiting on this map to come in. Alright, come on now. It's still not in yet. Dang it. Alright, come on. Please tell me it's in this time. Alright, so this plane is flying into the storm now, and they just entered it. So we should see their findings in about 10 to 15 minutes. And okay, this is what I was looking at. Okay, cool. They didn't even go through the eye of the storm, I don't think. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They were trying to sample the southeast part of the storm, see what winds they could find down there, but no, okay. They didn't go through the eye of the storm. I didn't think they did, because it didn't look like it. Because, I mean, you could tell the wind shift, the winds did not drop all the way to zero. And if you go through the eye of the storm, obviously the winds are going to drop to near zero. So no, they did not go through the eye of the storm. That's actually a little disappointing. The next one should be going in. They should be in the eye of the storm if they go through it in about 20 to 30 minutes. But no, there's no way that the other recon plane did that because the winds didn't drop to near zero. So that's a little disappointing. So, I mean, really, for right now, does anyone have any questions for me as far as what you guys think, or like, any questions in regards to the storm or whatever? All right, so like I said, we're still kind of in a holding pattern, waiting for this recon to get there. Based on what I found with the eye, or at least they got close to it anyway. 65, 5, 19. This plane's still, well, it's getting pretty close, but it's still, it's going to be about 10 to 20 minutes before we get another pass from that plane. Hopefully they'll actually go through the eye and we can get some viable info. That's very true, and that's why I keep giving updates to my friends, because the uncertainty of this storm is really bad. Yeah, I agree. The uncertainty of this storm is really bad. It's higher than usual. Alright. I'm gonna check something on my phone here, like so while we're in a holding pattern, if I can get to my charger in time. I would check it on the computer, but you guys are actually seeing what's on my. Oh well, no, I can't do that now. um, Give me just a couple of minutes, guys. I'm gonna look at something on the computer, and I don't want you guys seeing this because it's not weather related. So give me just 1 second. If I can figure out how to do this. Alright, so for a minute you guys are gonna see a black screen. Let me take care of this and then I'll get right back to you guys. Let me just take care of this real fast. Alright, so never mind. Alright then. Moving on. Alright, sorry about that guys. Moving on. Oh, let me gather. um anyway. I mean, technically, you're not really advertising, but I mean, you didn't post your channel, so. And Lauren, like I told you, I don't care if you advertise on my channel. Shit. I mean, hell, Lauren, you gotta think about it. We're not in a position where we're really making money off this shit, off of this. So, uh, all right. Anyway, back to business on this real quick. Like I said, just a couple things kind of wrap this up because I'm not going to really sit here 20-30 minutes waiting on a recon mission. So that's what we're looking at right now. Category 1 storm. Pressure's about 990 to 995. Moving towards the Bahamas and eventually into Florida. Where in Florida it ends up could impact where it goes from there. If it goes southern Florida, obviously it's going to go into the Gulf. If it goes northern Florida, it'll go into Georgia and whatever and dissipate from there. But if it goes into the Gulf, potential for 2 landfalls in Florida or even a landfall in Alabama or Mississippi, as Lauren pointed out earlier in the stream. So again, guys, Muskie Sharks Gaming, keep it here for weather and gaming coverage. I will be doing another live stream later on to disclose information from the 10 o'clock advisory and what the recons found from there. So until then, guys, Muskie Sharks Gaming signing off. You guys have a great rest of the evening. Take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.